She wore a pink sweater with tiny metallic stars. 3 months later, one of those stars turned up alone by an unnamed wooden bridge. No footprints, no witnesses, just silence and a sticker that shouldn't be there. What happened to Jack and Lily Sullivan isn't just a mystery, it's a warning. And tonight, I'm going to walk you through the clue that everyone else seems to be ignoring. Because I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in patterns. And when children vanish, patterns become lifelines. To dive into this, kindly subscribe to our channel if you believe in fighting for justice. We've just crossed 2,000 subscribers, all because of your support. And we need that same energy to reach 3,000, then 5,000, and then 10,000. So go ahead and drop your DNA on that subscribe button, because wherever you are, the day this vision is fulfilled, I will send my appreciation straight to you. Let's keep building this community that fights for justice together. 3 months missing, no leads, no answers. But one item keeps pulling me back. A metallic star. Small, easy to overlook, but found in a place that shouldn't hold anything connected to children, near an unnamed wooden bridge tucked off the trail. And here's the thing, that star matches the exact design sewn across Lily Sullivan's pink sweater. It's not just similar, it's not just close, it's identical. And that's where everything stops feeling like coincidence and starts feeling like a trail. Because when children vanish without a trace, you start looking for anything. Any break in the silence, any fracture in the noise, this star might be it. A tiny object left behind in the middle of nowhere. Why was it there? How did it get there? Who was there before or after that sticker hit the ground? So today we go deeper. I've spent days tracing old routes on Google Earth, overlaying search grids, listening again and again to the dispatch logs from that day. And I keep coming back to one thing, that location wasn't random. The coordinates given in the dispatch recording don't align with the bridge we were all looking at. They align with a spot that's unmarked, unnamed, practically hidden. And in that hiding place, someone left something behind. Whether by accident or design, a part of Lily may have touched that bridge. And if that's true, then it changes everything. Because it tells us where they were, and more importantly, where someone didn't want us looking. We're going to walk that map, listen to the dispatch, check the terrain, and see what lines up. Because 3 months is too long, because no leads doesn't mean no truth. And because somewhere in the silence, this case is still speaking. Very, very softly. And today, we're going to listen. Let's look closer at this recent photo, shared quietly on Facebook by Malia, one of the children's relatives. No press release, no headline, just a quiet collage, posted days ago. At first glance, it looks like any memory. Lily smiling softly. The kind of smile that's more polite than playful. But look closer. She's wearing a pink sweater. It's soft, fleece-like, and covered almost delicately with tiny metallic star stickers. They shimmer just enough to catch a camera lens. And now, they shimmer just enough to catch our attention. Because in the dispatcher's own words, a small holographic star sticker was found near a wooden bridge. Same size, same texture. Same kind of sticker you'd find on a child's sleeve, or lost unknowingly during a moment of struggle. It wasn't just a random sticker blowing in the wind. It was logged, marked, spoken aloud during an active search. Strawberry Houston, star. That's the quote. That's what they said. And I don't think they even knew what it meant at the time. Now we do. So let's ask the uncomfortable question. What are the chances? What are the odds that a metallic star, identical to the ones on Lily's jacket, would end up by chance in a remote patch of terrain, near an unnamed wooden bridge, days after 2 children vanished without a trace? If this were a puzzle, that sticker might be the corner piece. A way to orient the bigger picture. Because objects don't lie, they don't panic, they don't cover their tracks, they just fall quietly and wait to be found. So what does it mean that someone found that star in a place no one was supposed to find anything at all? That's what we're unraveling next. Now listen carefully to this dispatch recording. It's brief, uneasy, The kind of communication that feels routine, until you really listen. A search team radios in. They're standing near what they describe as a wooden bridge, quiet, remote, tucked off a dirt path where no child should have been wandering alone. Then, almost as an afterthought, comes the detail. They've found a tiny, shiny object, a star. Not just any star, a small holographic sticker. And here's what changes everything. They question whether it came from clothing. They ask aloud, did any of the kids have stickers like this on them? In that moment, the search isn't theoretical anymore. It's not maps or missing posters or timelines. It's physical, tangible. A silent trace, left behind by someone too small to defend themselves. The coordinates they gave, 05148685038085. Those numbers may sound meaningless, just digits floating in space. But if you've ever traced a missing person case, you'll know coordinates don't lie, they're fixed. Frozen in time, they mark a point, one you can visit, stand in, photograph, or ignore. And in this case, they may just lead us to the last place Jack and Lily Sullivan were ever seen. Now here's the strange part. These coordinates don't match where the public was told to look. They fall just outside the original perimeter, out of range, out of focus, but not out of reach. And if that star sticker did come from Lily's jacket, then someone or something crossed over a line no one has accounted for. So today, we're retracing those steps. Through the brush, across the unmarked bridge, following numbers that were never meant to be a headline. Because if that sticker didn't blow there by chance, then someone brought it. And if someone brought it, they know what happened next. Searching the perimeter, where maps go silent, Google Maps doesn't name this bridge. No pins, no road signs, no travel reviews. It doesn't exist, at least not to anyone who hasn't walked these woods. It's not a major crossing. Not even a minor one. Just a simple wooden footbridge, barely wide enough for two people to pass side by side. Unremarkable, until now. I started comparing everything, zooming in and out of the terrain, rotating satellite views. The Crockett Bridge showed up, sure. But when I cross-checked the coordinates from dispatch, they didn't match, not even close. The numbers given, 05148688 and 503085. Put this bridge closer to Lansdowne Road, and that's where it gets more unsettling. Because Lansdowne Road is where searchers discovered the children's blanket. A soft, familiar item, something that likely belonged to Jack and Lily. Found abandoned, out in the open. That's not a coincidence. That's proximity. A metallic star by the bridge. A blanket near the road, and now we have a corridor. A stretch of land where something happened, something no one has explained. And yet, here's the part that keeps me up at night. This area wasn't heavily searched until weeks later. Why? Because on a map, it looks unimportant, empty. But to children who were scared, tired, or being led by someone else, it might have been the only path they had. When maps go silent, clues get buried. But that doesn't mean they're gone. It just means we have to dig deeper. And right now, all signs, coordinates, objects, and instinct are leading straight to this forgotten crossing. Let's not forget the 7 trail cameras. Devices meant for watching wildlife. Now they're potential witnesses in the disappearance of Jack and Lily Sullivan. They were taken from the property of Melissa Scott, a resident living near Glengarry Station. Her home sits on the outer edge of the children's neighborhood, close enough to matter, close enough to watch the back roads, the tree lines, the forgotten paths. Police requested footage, spanning April 27th to May 3rd, the exact window when the children vanished, a time when every second, every shadow could tell a story. 7 cameras. That's not a small search. That's days, hundreds of hours of possible movement. So here's the question, what was captured? A car, a stranger, maybe even Jack and Lily themselves. And more importantly, why haven't we heard more about it? Why, in a case starved for leads, has this digital trail gone quiet? Authorities confirmed they seized the footage. That was weeks ago. Since then, no public statements. No updates. Nothing. Were the cameras faulty? Did they capture too much, or something too sensitive? Because let's be honest, in a world where surveillance solves crimes in days, 7 cameras shouldn't go silent for 3 months. There's something in that gap, something that doesn't line up. 7 trail cams. 1 metallic star. A forgotten bridge. A child's blanket. Individually, they're fragments. Together they sketch the outline of a truth no one wants to admit. Someone knows more than they're saying. Using the perimeter and known sightings, I traced the most likely paths, satellite imagery, old search maps, trail markings that barely exist anymore. And what starts to emerge is a pattern. The metallic star, the one found by the wooden footbridge, wasn't discovered randomly. It was near a narrow river path, a place only someone familiar or desperate would pass through. That path cuts behind a line of trees. No official signage, no maintained walkway, just a worn track where the grass doesn't grow straight anymore. It's the kind of place you don't just end up in. You choose it. You avoid being seen, and that bridge, it isn't built for traffic or hikers. It's a hidden connector between isolation and escape. A shortcut known only to locals, or someone who planned ahead. The metallic star was found just off that path, close enough to the bridge to raise questions, far enough to make you wonder if someone panicked, or if a child broke free, just for a moment. Maybe Lily dropped it. Maybe it fell when she was carried. Maybe it caught on something. A branch, a sleeve, a moment no one saw. It's too specific, too symbolic to ignore. The exact kind of sticker stitched across Lily's pink jacket. Not a toy, not random trash. A breadcrumb. And the river, still cold and quiet. It swallows things. Evidence. And sometimes, secrets. That's why we follow the path. Not just the physical trail, but the story it's trying to tell. Because someone walked it first, and someone else never walked it back. No coincidences, only patterns. When things repeat, they form a pattern. That's the rule of investigation. And more often than not, it's the rule of tragedy. The metallic star, the wooden bridge, the discarded blanket on Lansdowne Road. Each of these could be brushed off on their own. A child's sticker, a forgotten piece of clothing, an anonymous trail. But together, they speak. They sketch a silent outline of movement, of location, of intent. It starts with the star. Not just any sticker, but a match to Lily's jacket. Found near an unnamed bridge, close to the river, off the road, out of sight. Then the blanket. Tangled in brush, far from home, far from where 2 children should have been on a quiet evening. And the cameras, 7 of them, pointed at the only nearby trail, collected by police, and then silence. No public update. No footage released. This isn't a random vanishing. It's not a case of 2 kids wandering off. The evidence, small as it seems, keeps pointing in one direction. Deliberate, targeted, covered up. Because here's the thing about patterns. They don't lie, even when people do. Crockett Bridge. That name kept surfacing in the early days of the search. It's wooden, remote, easy to imagine as the scene of something tragic. But here's the problem. It's outside the official perimeter. Far from where the blanket was discovered. Nowhere near the coordinates shared by dispatch. So why was it brought up at all? Maybe it was an honest mislead. Or maybe it was strategic. Because while everyone looked at Crockett Bridge, the real location stayed unnamed, unsearched, unspoken. The coordinates we do have, 051486, 8 and 503085, they point to another area. Closer to the Sullivan home, closer to that unmarked bridge, closer to where the pattern forms. And yet no press conference has named it. No official search log confirms it. Just silence. And when there's silence in a missing child case, especially when the details start to align, you have to ask, what are they protecting? And why? Because either someone's hiding the truth, or the truth is too damning to share. If you're from this area, I'm speaking directly to you now. Not as a YouTuber. Not as a voice on the internet. but as someone trying to piece together something no one else has. Because there's a wooden bridge. A small one, unnamed. But it exists. It exists in someone's weekend memory, in the background of a fishing trip, in a dog walk, or a summer hike you didn't think twice about. This isn't a national park. It's a backwoods trail. A shortcut. The kind of place locals know, and outsiders overlook. And that's why this matters, because you might have walked that exact path. You might have seen something that didn't make sense then, but might make perfect sense now. Think back to the last days of April. Did you notice any unusual vehicles near those trails? Did your dog bark in a direction it normally wouldn't? Was there a car parked where no car should have been? A person walking alone, where they didn't belong? Did something feel wrong? I know memory fades, and I know no one wants to get involved in something they're unsure of. But in cases like this, it's rarely the authorities who break the silence. It's someone who didn't even realize what they saw. And this bridge, the one near where a metallic star was found, matching Lily Sullivan's pink sweater, that bridge might not have a name, but it may carry the weight of everything we've been trying to find. I'm not asking you to solve the case. I'm asking you to remember. Because somewhere in those woods, between the trails and the river's edge, someone knows more than they've said. And that silence, it might be the final thing holding this case hostage. What this case might be turning into. This isn't just about two missing children anymore. It's about what their absence is beginning to suggest. The longer they're gone, the louder the silence becomes. And now we're past the point of routine searches. We're deep into something darker. This might be abduction. It might be a cover-up. Or it might be worse than either of those. And here's the thing. None of it came from dramatic breakthroughs. It came from the small things. A metallic sticker. A pink sweater seen in a family photo. A vague dispatch call that nearly got buried. A trail cam police won't talk about. These aren't just overlooked details. They're echoes. Cries for help still trapped inside the timeline. You see, evidence doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers. And when no one listens long enough, it fades. But this is a case trying to speak. And every missed breadcrumb, every unclaimed object, every unexplained silence, isn't just a clue. It's a scream we haven't learned how to hear yet. If this is the last trace, what if that sticker is the last thing Lily ever left behind? Not dropped accidentally, but torn off in fear, pressed into the dirt by a small shoe or trembling hand, left as a marker in the only way a child could leave one. What if it wasn't just lost, but planted? A desperate breadcrumb in a forest of silence. That metallic star might be more than a toy. It might be the last piece of her voice. Because if that sticker truly came from her jacket, then someone had her near that bridge. And didn't want us to find out. We talk about locations, maps, coordinates. But sometimes the truth hides in the ordinary. A bridge no one names. A sticker no one picks up. A trail no one finishes walking. That bridge might not just be a place. It might be a message. Or worse, a grave marker in disguise. And if we ignore it, we risk letting the last trace of these children fade into the background noise of another forgotten case. Here's what doesn't make sense. Why wasn't this bridge ever officially marked? It sits within the search perimeter. It's been referenced in dispatch calls. A key clue was found nearby. And yet no name. No public identification. No press mention. Was it overlooked? Or buried on purpose? When critical locations like this go unacknowledged, it doesn't just delay justice. It makes you wonder what else has been left off the record. Let's talk about media silence. A tiny metallic star, matching Lily's sweater, found by a bridge. Why hasn't that been headline news? Why is it buried in audio recordings and second-hand reports? The public gets vague statements. No context. No clarity. But this isn't just sloppy reporting, it's control. Someone is deciding what's relevant to the public. And if the truth doesn't fit that narrative, it gets silenced. Stay loud, stay relentless. 3 months. No arrests. No press conference. No faces behind bars. Just silence. And a community running out of time. The trail grows colder by the hour. But cold trails aren't dead trails. Not when people keep talking. Not when people keep digging. Not when people refuse to move on. Because this case doesn't need more silence. It needs noise. It needs momentum. It needs you. Share this video. Drop your theory. Look at the maps. Walk those trails. Ask the questions no one else will. Because someone out there knows something. And someone else might be too scared to speak. Until they know they're not alone. If that metallic star was Lily's final message, then we owe it to her to listen. We owe it to Jack to search deeper. And we owe it to every missing child. To stay loud, stay relentless. This isn't just a story. It's a signal flare. So don't let it fade.